A visitor once stood looking at one of my woodland paintings and asked me if I was a lonely person. At the time I couldn't understand what he meant, what it was about my work that would make him think that, but I think I do now. I do enjoy spending time away from crowds. I don't cope well with the noise or the unpredictability of others. I find solace being in nature, walking through woodlands, along shorelines, or simply being in the garden. I choose the path less often walked and like to share the places I find by painting them. My work doesn't usually feature people or even buildings. There's little evidence of human activity. I can see why someone might think I was a lonely person. But the truth is, the places I visit are satisfying enough. Of course, Kirkcudbright, the Isle of Light as I've heard it called, gives me plenty of such places to explore. Woodland walks in abundance, an ever-changing shoreline, and that light, the light that inspired many artists before me.
PA Pop-Up is a group of artists and makers. The shop has been here since 2015. It started as a pop-up shop and we are still here. We're a group of 17 different artists and makers and we work as a cooperative. Each and every artist does 2 shifts a month in the shop. So people, the customers that come in get a chance to speak to the various artists and get to know about their work. Some of the makers do work while they're sitting behind the desk, so people get a chance to see that as well. Kirkcudbright is an ideal place for artists and makers. It is known as the artist town.
My ultimate goal is to capture the light. It's been the most important goal for me as long as I can remember. Capturing light includes capturing a feeling or mood that moves the viewer. It's been the aspirations for the Impressionists and also their way of applying the paint in a loose manner and it becoming realistic as you move further away from the artwork. I try to achieve this with my chisel marks and has always tried to work as realistic as possible within the boundaries of my medium. Another big influence in my work is the Japanese woodcuts, especially their gradient roll. This and the experience of painting oil on canvas plein air for 15 years after I studied fine art has developed into using lots of selective rolling and lots of color per layer in my reduction lino cuts.
Hello, I'm Richard Brinley at Ochre Gallery. I'm primarily a painter of land and seascapes here in the Stewartry of Kirkcudbrightshire. I use oil on a range of supports, canvas, paper, sometimes glass. The drawn line is something I like to feature in my work. I also try to stay true to the colours of Dumfries and Galloway. We first fell for D&G in the late 80s on a camping holiday, but making it our permanent home in 2001. As a self-taught artist, the support offered by Kirkcudbright as an artist town has been central in my development as a working artist, offering plenty of exhibition opportunities. This all gave me the confidence to open Ochre Gallery 9 years ago. I need to speak about the light of Galloway because it is special. It's a diversity of landscape we have here, from the coast through the farmlands, the woods and up into the hills. It really is a special place.
I've always been interested in finding my own way of doing things, of inventing and experimenting with different ideas until I find something that works. Almost like a challenge or a puzzle that needs fixing. It's hard to describe. Anyway, that's why I suppose I fell into hand building rather than throwing as a way to make my ceramics. I've also always been into nature and the outdoors, so being in Kirkcudbright and the surrounding area is a perfect place to find inspiration, especially along the coast, a kind of perfect imperfection. Back to the day job. It's an ongoing process of making, firing and glazing, like a rhythm, letting my pieces slowly and naturally develop with time. I'm not one to rush things. I just hope I can keep going on, making and creating.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Perhaps, but it has always been the beauty of coloured gemstones that has captured my heart. I spend many enjoyable hours with customers choosing combinations of colours and cuts of precious and semi-precious gemstones. My design inspiration comes mainly from nature, but also from architecture and travel. Time working in India and childhood memories of living in the Middle East have strong influences on my designs. I combine traditional hand skills and tools with new technologies such as computer-aided design and rapid prototyping to create my collections. Subtle contrasts of colour, texture and pattern are created using coloured gold, silver and platinum. I feel very lucky to have spent the last 27 years working in Kirkcudbright, creating jewellery that is worn and loved. Jewellery is so personal, and I enjoy working with clients designing unusual and unique pieces using their own family jewels and ideas, as well as working on my own collections available from my shop and website. My imagination is bursting with ideas for jewellery I want to create. The possibilities are endless, but there's never enough hours in the day.
From 2000, the High Street Gallery has exhibited the work of Scottish artists who trained at Glasgow School of Art and Edinburgh College of Art. In our day, these were both disciplinarian regimes which instilled in you a need for hard work, order and determination. This shows not only in the work of the contemporary gallery artists, but also the Kirkcudbright colony of artists from the 19th century onwards, including the Glasgow Girls. On show is the work of innovative glass and pottery designers from the arts and crafts, Art Nouveau and Art Deco periods. Also, you can enjoy iconic designs from mid-century designers from Britain, Scandinavia, France, Germany and Italy.
My name is Ewan McClure and I'm a painter in oils. I moved to Kirkcudbright 5 years ago when I was offered the chance to rent Broughton House Studio and work as artist in residence. It is a dream studio with its high ceilings and abundant north light, and E.A. Hornell's pervasive presence encourages hard graft and a commitment to a personal vision. My work tends to be representational, naturalistic, meaning that I select or compose my subject and seek to recreate the visual impression, searching out the play of light and capturing the salient tones and harmonies as I find them. The painters that inspire me the most seem to have as much love for the substance of paint itself as for the subject. Viewed closely, their fluid, painterly textures assert themselves on the canvas, while the embedded illusion of reality comes into focus from a few paces back. Some tricks never grow old. It's a synergy of fact and illusion, and the process of discovery continues to unfold after the artist is gone.
I'm Alistair Hamilton, I'm a photographer.
Alison Caulfield, I'm a textile artist, and we share a studio together here in Kirkcudbright.
And we're also partners. That means that we spend a lot of time in the same places together and see the same things and are inspired by the same things to make our work.
So we're out walking with Alistair with his camera and me with my sketchbook, and we interpret what we see in different ways when we get back to the studio.
And I'm always on the lookout for little details in the landscape that interest me. Interesting rocks, lichen, shellfish on the beach.
It's quite a lot about textures. We both like texture, don't we? And details.
Yes. Yeah. Anything that, when looked at close up, gives interesting shape and colour. I've been in Kirkcudbright for about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, and there's quite a growing artistic community here.
Yes.
People, studios, lots of artists tucked away.
Yes, it's nice to be in an artistic community and be in a place that people don't think that being an artist is an unusual thing.
I am a painter and ceramicist living in Kirkcudbright. I remember it was the first day I came. I knew it had to be forever. I live my art as a parallel to my experience on this earth. There are dream landscapes which grow deeper and almost tangible the more I study them, and these places are held close to my heart. The subject matter that I use is a mix of personal symbolism, whether it's from an imagined place, a memory of yesterday, or future ideas. Through drawing, I play with shapes to create new structures. With this process, different thoughts and memories are then physically joined, creating new meanings. I like to place these sculptural forms within a painted theatrical environment, giving an essence of narrative. But I like to hold these narratives secret, like that of a dream, or a closed diary with a decorative cover. For the viewer, I aim to present only a pretty composition, a trinket from my world.
My lino cuts are portraits of wild landscape. I say portraits because I'm far more interested in evoking the feel of light, weather and place than in geographical accuracy. I've spent time in Japan studying printmaking, and alongside the undeniable aesthetic effect this has had on my work, I've been fascinated by the Shinto belief that landscape is a living entity, and I do draw the landscape as a dynamic and living subject. That's easy here on the rocky coast around Kirkcudbright. The extraordinary light helps as well. I work by reduction printing, using a single block for each print. I cut the block as I print each layer, so the more layers I print, the more material is cut from the block. This means I can respond to the image as I go, allowing it to develop without a fixed plan. I start with a drawing and an idea of colour, but I never know how many layers or quite what direction the print will take. It seems appropriate that my prints are dynamic and subject to change, and entirely in keeping with the wild spaces that fascinate me so much.